Jen Rafferty began her career as a middle school music teacher in Central New York. She conducts professional development workshops and currently serves as the co-chair of the New York State School Music Association's Secondary Classroom Committee, a member of the Advocacy Committee, and is the president of Cortland County Music Teachers Association. She earned a BM in Music Education and Vocal Performance, a Master's in Music Education from Ithaca College, and is currently pursuing her PhD in Educational Psychology. Jen is frequently invited to conduct elementary and middle school choirs throughout New York State. Additionally, she is the director of the Dryden Intergenerational Choir, which is a chorus of singers ranging from age 9 to 91. Her most recent publication is A Place in the Staff, Finding Your Way as a Music Teacher, available on Amazon. Please join me in giving Jen Rafferty a warm Rotary welcome.
Hey everyone. So we started with a song. These are my kind of people. I love that. Harriet, you have a lovely singing voice.
I screwed up the words though. That's okay.
Oh, who cares? You know, if there's something about being a singer, you know, that I try to impress on everyone who I work with and even myself, it's not about being perfect. Otherwise, I'd be out of a job. So you sing your heart out, you sing whatever words you want, girl, because it was awesome. So thank you for having me today and sharing a little bit about what I do and who I am with you fine people this morning. I have a very important professional mission that I live by in all of the work that I do, and it is extremely important to me that whatever capacity I can, I inspire people to discover the sound that they have within themselves and be comfortable with the voices that they have and hopefully empower them to use it for good. And it's such a lovely gift that I'm able to do that even during this time where singing is dangerous to do with big groups of people. So I'll give you a little bit of background as to what's happened, at least for me, over the last couple of months, and I'll share the big project that I'm doing now. So in March, I was teaching at Cortland Junior Senior High School. I served as the music department chair there for a number of years, and I've been working there for about 12 years. I say was because I took a year off this year to stay home and homeschool my own 2 children, which has been an adventure in of itself. But so last year in March, I believe it was the 13th, it was our last day at school. And it was a half day for our students. And at the second half of the day, we were working together as a department. So with my music department, we were kind of told, hey, by the way, we might be going virtual. So just, you know, take about a half an hour and just talk about that for a little bit. So of course, everyone started freaking out. We didn't know what our life was going to look like after that day. And after a lot of stress, there was about a half an hour left in the day. And we were like, you know what? Let's make some music. So my last memory of actually being in school is the 13 of us, or 12 of us, maybe 12 of us at the time, went into the band room. We all grabbed an instrument. I grabbed a microphone. My friend John grabbed his drumsticks, and Steve grabbed his bass, and someone else grabbed a guitar, and someone else grabbed her French horn, and someone else grabbed a little maraca, and we sang and made music for the last part of that day. And I can't tell you how much joy that has left with me throughout this time when I haven't been able to make music with my colleagues or my students in person like we used to. So reflecting on that is important because while we all lost something during this time, musicians and music teachers had a very different color of that loss. You know, part of who I am and who a lot of people are who are choir directors, especially, I'll talk about that just because that's my paradigm. That is a big part of our identity. That's who we are. You know, we are choir directors, we're music teachers. And when that was taken away from us, it wasn't just the job that we couldn't do anymore. It was a big piece of our identity. And for me, I struggled with that loss a lot. And then there was this mourning process that I think everyone went through, and especially all the music teachers that I worked with, we all kind of went through this of like, well, if I'm not standing in front of my kids making music and singing, what am I doing? Who am I? You know, it was this moment for many of us that was a little bit jarring, and that shift to virtual learning was really difficult, especially at first. And then as the year ended, you know, everyone kind of regrouped and shared ideas and what was this going to look like moving forward. So on another side of this is I conduct a choir that Evan mentioned, the intergenerational Dryden choir, which I've been doing for the last 10 years or so. And we meet 6 times during the summer for 2-hour rehearsals. And we have 2 concerts in August. And it's kind of this beautiful come as you are group. There are no auditions, there's no age requirements, there's no ability requirements. All you need to do is just show up and sing. And we make beautiful magic happen in those 12 hours during rehearsal. And then of course at the 2 concerts. So because of the state of things, that was no longer going to happen, which was again another loss to me and all of the participants who look forward to this every year. And we really thought about how can we do this virtually. So I started dabbling in how can we make music virtually, because as Harriet thoughtfully did, put everyone else on mute while she was singing, right? Because we can't have live music making on Zoom because of the lag. And I'm really hoping that one day technology will catch up with the world. People have already been doing really creative things. I just saw actually an NPR article that professional choirs are doing recordings and rehearsals in their car through the radio. I mean, like, just crazy things are happening right now, which is great. And I love the creativity, but in a practical point, you know, we all can't do that kind of thing all the time. So how do we make a choir work on a digital platform? So after a lot of brainstorming and thinking, I was able to pull together a really cool way to create some sort of valuable singing platform on Zoom, which ultimately helped me get closer to my goal, which was, how do I inspire people to find their voices and use them? That is what I wanted to do always. So now I just had to kind of shift my thinking of how can I do this digitally? So I did, and the Dryden Intergenerational Choir looked a lot different this summer, but we were able to make it work, and people had a great time, and there were families that were involved. 2 and 3 generations of families came to these things, as they always do. But what was really cool now was, now that it is virtual, families who don't live locally could come together and sing. So even my sister, who lives in Miami, she was always a part of my choir this summer, and she never was able to do that before. So that was really special, that it brought families together in a different way than I was ever anticipating. So how does a virtual choir work? Well, it's not, I kind of like stay away from that term virtual choir as much as possible. That's the first thing, because it's not chorus. It's not a choir as we would traditionally think of a choir. It's for me, a virtual singing community. Because we're all on mute, it is a very individual experience. However, there are things that happen during rehearsal that allow us time to connect with each other. So virtual choirs, I'm sure you've seen big productions that are posted on Facebook and social media, like, hey, look at this big college choir, or this, you know, famous choir doing this thing. That's great, and there's a place for that for sure. But what happens, and I want to be clear about what exactly that is, it's really more about the production value than the actual music making, because you're essentially sitting alone in a room with a video camera and some other microphone to record your audio, and then you send it off to someone who does magical things in their computer. I don't even know what happens in that process. And then they put together this thing which looks really great, and as the audience member, it sounds amazing, and you get that, you know, fuzzy, beautiful butterfly feelings about this great music that you're hearing. But as the participant, you're missing out on that connection, which is the most important part about singing in a choir. So I wanted to make sure that we kind of hit on that part. So how it works for me is I have some rules of engagement, right? So the first part is we're all on mute. We have to be on mute because we are not able to make music in real time. But what I found was that allowed people to give themselves permission to make mistakes. And people who are like, you know, Jen, I'd like to join your group, but like, I'm not really a singer. those are my people, because this is the opportunity for you to kind of feel that out without any kind of embarrassed feelings you might be feeling that the person next to you is going to hear you sing something weird, or I'm going to sing a wrong note and everyone's going to look at me, and I've never joined a choir because I've been afraid of that. Well, now you can, because you are on mute. No one's going to hear you. So you want to sing wrong notes? Go for it. Can't hear you anyway. You want to sing a different harmony? Go for it, because you can hear something different than I can. Great, do it. And it all goes. So it gives some liberation to a lot of people who might have been afraid to use their voice in the first place. I always encourage my participants to put it on gallery view, and that way you can see everybody in the choir at the same time. So I use a lot of movement in my classes, and it's really very powerful when we're all singing something together and then we're all moving in a certain way. And that also provides that connection to the music and to each other that might be different if we're all just kind of sitting there staring at a computer. And we use the chat a lot, and, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down, or do we understand, do we not understand? And of course, you know, the whole idea is to have fun. I never stray away from that mission of really inspiring people to find that. National Summer Choir ended, I wanted to continue to provide a platform for people to make music in that meaningful way, because it was something that I deeply felt as a loss. And I was able to reclaim a lot of that when I started singing with other people myself. And I wanted to keep that going. So my program now is called Sing Together. And currently it's in its third session. I do 6-week sessions. And I've had people from all over the United States and Canada join this program, which has been really cool. So just last week, I've had someone from San Diego. We've got someone from Las Vegas. My sister still comes from Miami, which is so special. And we sing and really connect with each other. So we learn about some healthy ways we can sing. We learn about breath support, which is really important, especially if we're sitting in front of a computer and talking at it all day. Having really good breath support is just good vocal health, whether you're a singer or not, right? We learn new songs. Some of them are some folk songs that I've kind of picked apart and rearranged. Some of them are songs that I've made up myself. I do it in a way where it's accessible for everybody. So if you're someone's like, I just want to sing the melody, awesome. If you're someone's like, I'm a singer, I've been in choirs before, I'd like something a little more challenging, there's something for you too. And again, I always put motion with everything too, because it's good for our body, it's good to move. Oftentimes now we're sitting in front of a computer all day. So this gives a chance for our bodies to actually get up and move and have some physical exercise as well, which is important for our overall well-being. And then of course, there is that emotional connection. And I also loved, and not only did you start with a song today, which is great, but you also shared gratitude, which is a practice that I do every day, but I also share with my virtual singing community. And about halfway through rehearsal, we all get off mute and we're all able to really connect and share. And sometimes it's something about, you know, what am I feeling grateful for this week? Sometimes we share something that was really joyful this week that happened. And sometimes we share what I call a yay me, which is kind of like a toot your own horn kind of moment, something you're really proud of. And especially now when things are just, the world is crazy and there's chaos and things are uncertain, showing gratitude and just expressing joy and that connection really grounds people into what they're doing and being present. And having that shared joyful connection has been very powerful over the last few sessions that we've done it. And after the 6 weeks of all of us being together, we really start to know each other. And that's been a beautiful beginning of a much greater community that's starting. So there's this healing that happens. There's this escapism that's really important, at least for me, especially this past week, to just kind of dive in for an hour and just sing and be joyful. So I put together a short video so you can kind of see how this works. It's one thing for me to explain it, but it's quite another for you to actually see it. And in some of the videos, you'll notice a couple of different things. Again, you'll notice the motions. Sometimes when we're doing songs with different parts, I use different motions for different parts. So let's say Harriet and Deb, you're singing the same part, you'll know because you're doing the same motion, right? And Jean and Sheila, you're doing a different part, so you're doing the same motion. And even though you might not realize it, you're connecting with each other in a way that's really different because you are singing together. So I think I don't have access yet. I'm not sure if I can get that co-host access, so I can share my screen.
You do have co-host access.
Oh, I see it. Yep, I got it. Thank you. I just wasn't on scrolling over it. Thank you very much, Doug. Okay, so let me pull up that video and I will share that with you. All right, can y'all see it okay? A thumbs up? Okay, cool.
We're not supposed to hear anything, are we?
Oh, yes, you are.
Yeah, well, turn on the music.
It is on. Oh no, is that not, the speaker isn't working? How do I share screen with, I'm glad you stopped me when you did. That would have been a shame if you listened to the whole thing and didn't hear the thing. Oh, I know what's happening. Hang on. I think it's because you're in my earbuds right now. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Let me know if you can hear it. See, this is another thing, right? Like, this is our life right now. We make mistakes with this technology. I appreciate the feedback. All right, here we go. Try it again.
No sound yet. There it is. You have sound.
Once in a while again. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Bring me little water now. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Bring me little water, 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 every little once in a while. Bring me little water, bring me little water, bring little water, bring me little water, bring me little water, bring me little water, every little once in a while. Yes, okay. Okay, so we're gonna do it together. I'm gonna sing it. If you can sing it along, great. If you just wanna do the motions, great. If you don't wanna do the motions and you just wanna sing, also great. Lots of choices, multiple choice here. Here we go, ready? I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Hubba-dubba-doo-bow-bow. 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 Dee-dum-dee-dum-dum, dee-dum, hubba-dubba-dee-dum-dum, dee-dum, dee-dum-dum, dee-dum, hubba-dubba-dee-dum-dum, dee-dum, now, bring me little water, Sylvie, every little once in a while. Bring me little water, Sylvie, bring me little water now. Bring me little water, Sylvie, every little once in a while. Yes! So that's kind of the idea of how that works, that class works. Those are a bunch of different classes that I've done over the last couple of months. And again, you know, my goal is to just create this platform for people to sing and sing in a meaningful way and connect with each other through music. So I'm hoping to do that as long as possible. And we'll see, you know, how long this goes, because even if we can get together in person, which I hope we can do so soon, I miss that so much, and that day is going to be so joyful. This has something else that has incredible value too. So I'm wondering if people will still want to do that, and if they are, I'm happy to provide that platform for them. So that's my new project, my new adventure, and I'm really happy to be able to share that with you today. I was gonna say this morning. It's not this morning anymore. So thank you very much for having me and inviting me.
Hey, Jen, we love your energy. It's great.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
And we love your rules of engagement. One of Evan's employees, Katie Kaiser, would always come to my shows because I would, I would mess up singing. I was doing the fairy godmother, bibbidi bobbidi doo boo, and for Cinderella, and she just sits in the front row and she laughs hysterically. So you mess up, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
My instrument is the violin, but I did study voice at the Schola Cantorum in Paris. And I agree with you that you just have to have, rules of engagement and energy. And I don't have a question. I just want to thank you.
Oh, well, my pleasure. Thank you. That's great. I hope you keep singing.
Well, in my case, the best thing about it is being able to use a mute button in your system. And then nobody else, and even I, don't need to hear it.
You can even lip sync and do that, Jen. I think that's what you're doing is wonderful, Jen. And I wonder if as you continue this forward, if I think it will continue to encourage people of all ages and and children, and I'm glad there was at least one child that was joining you. So anyway, well done, bravo.
Thank you. Yeah, my hope was that I didn't really know what to expect. When I do my intergenerational choir, the majority of the participants are in their 50s, 60s, 70s. And so when I put this forward, I kind of had the idea that was going to be my audience anyway, because the school age kids, they have a music experience in school, and that's great. And my hope is that they have another music experience out in the community. But the folks who I think need it the most are those folks who are in those age ranges, because there aren't enough organic opportunities perhaps to be involved in something like that. So a lot of the music I choose too is kind of catered to that generation, which is also music that I'm very connected with also. But it is really neat to see, as you saw in some of the videos, mother and daughter. There was another family who came, who they were quarantining separately, so they hadn't seen each other in a long time. So it was this one woman and her son, and then her mother, who was taking care of her dad, who had Alzheimer's. And while he doesn't usually participate in a lot of the activities, he sat in on every music class because that was something that everybody enjoyed, including him. And it was just this beautiful moment that happened unexpectedly on Zoom for this family for this hour through music making. It was just so special. So it's very surprising sometimes how these little stories come up that are unexpected.
Any other questions for Jen?
Jen, I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate your energy, and we need you on that wall. I'm a music teacher myself, but I haven't tried any group things. I'm Zooming with people in New Jersey and Missouri and up the road for me. My grandchild, one of my grandchildren is one of my students. Mm-hmm. So, but it's the one-on-one Zoom music teaching is pretty good, except you can't play together. But at least you can play back and forth. I play something as an example, and the student plays it back, and so forth. But it's an interesting dynamic. It changes the interpersonal communication you have with your students.
Yes, I agree. It is very different. And I also have a small vocal studio. I actually have a few beginner piano students too that I do on Zoom, these individual lessons. And it's very different. But the more it was the music that making together is the thing that is missing. And that was really important to me to kind of recreate in some virtual way. And I'm feeling very grateful that I had the tools to be able to do that, that this kind of technology exists right now, and that people were interested. So what I'll do, I'll actually leave my website information right here in the chat. So if you're interested in taking a look, I'll stick it right there.
Hey, Jen, we're also interested. I want you to have a Rotary mug. Now, the deal is, if I have to mail it to Dryden, it's going to cost me $8.
Oh, no, I live in Cortlands. I live in Cortlands.
Can you come by my post office, my mailbox, and pick it up?
Sure.
All right. Well, 2 weeks ago, she didn't. And so last week, the guy that spoke to us, I hand delivered it. So I will put it in my mailbox, okay?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thank you. I appreciate that.
4366 Cosmos Hill Road. It'll have your name on it.
4366 Cosmos Hill Road.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
so you come get it. It'll be out there in about 20 minutes.
Okay. Sounds good.